Hola, ¿cómo están amigos? Vamos a tener una entrevista con un invitado de lujo, en esta ocasión en nuestro podcast de Hockey Talks. Con nosotros se encuentra Dave Hammond. Creo que todos en el medio conocen quién es Dave Hammond y bueno, vamos a tener una pequeña entrevista con él y vamos a empezar preguntándole pues cómo inició en este deporte, cuáles han sido sus mayores logros, qué significa para él y qué es lo que él cree que viene en un futuro para este gran deporte, ¿no? Entonces, pues damos inicio, ¿no? Dave, how are you?
A little tired. It's been a good 4 or 5 days here and a lot of fun. So, yeah, we added a couple extra sessions, and it was wonderful that I was able to spend a lot of quality time with the kids. Sometimes, you know, when it's short and sweet, you don't get to know their personalities as well, and it affects the way you coach. But this allowed us to spend a lot of time with them on and off the rink, and now I felt like I made a lot of new friends, and they were really receptive to everything we gave them to do on the rink.
That was great, Dave. How did you found the kids, the youngsters, the old ones here in Mexico?
So obviously we had a big range of kids. We had, I think, 4 different groups, and I think the youngest we started with age 4. So from age 4 to, I'd say, 10, a lot of potential. There's a couple little bright and shining stars. You can see there's a few kids that live on the rink. I mean, I saw some kids here, I think, for 14, 16 hours in a weekend. So you can see they're skating constantly. And even when we're not being coached, when we're sitting here having a glass of water or something to eat, they're still skating. So you see there's this passion for it. The big things I noticed with a lot of these countries we go travel to is the skating. So everyone wants to play hockey, and sometimes we're too quick to put a stick in their hands. If you can't skate on an elite level, you'll never be an elite hockey player. So my advice is, never forget the basics and constantly focus on skating and edge work. And you can do that with a lot of drills, a lot of games. We saw today was all about fun, but we didn't necessarily play a match the whole time. We had relay races, we had one-on-one battles, 2-on-2, 3-on-3. We almost tricked them into learning by having a little bit of fun. So that's usually my advice when I talk with your head coach about just camouflage the trainings. It's almost like you want your kids to eat vegetables, you put syrup on it or you put cheese on it to hide it from them. With the older guys, it's a little bit tougher. In the sense is if they don't have that basic foundation, it's really hard or difficult to teach an old dog new tricks. So with the older guys, it's definitely making it more simple for them and listening to them. What do they want to work on? Asking them. Some of the players, if they're in their teenagers, they want to be national players. Okay, it's having a conversation. Do you think a good player needs to be able to shoot, be able to pass, skate? What about nutrition? What about sleep, rest? All these things, it's separate. And then if you look at the older guys, our generation, a lot of us are there just to have fun. We want to have a sweat. We don't maybe want to do as many drills. So it's knowing your clientele. Typically, everyone pays the same price. Everyone gets the same amount of rink time. So it's understanding your clientele. What does a new player want? What does a person that's in their prime want? And what is somebody that's maybe over the hill? They also want to enjoy it. So it's finding this common balance. A mix of drills versus gameplay, I think, is the best. But I think you're onto a great start here. You guys are playing non-stop hockey. Everyone seems to be smiling, getting along, and that's what's really important. I didn't see any bad language. There was no altercations, no fights. So it shows it's a big family community, and everyone seems to have their back. We had some players that flew in, and I think they also felt like they were part of the club here, and they really felt at home. And I think that comes to the culture, and it starts with your security guard to the person at your desk. They're very friendly, and they make you feel at home. And I think you guys have really created a family here, and it's a very safe place to practice sport. So
thank you so
compliments
much.
to you.
We appreciate that. And we would like to know how Dave Hammond, being Canadian boy, choose roller hockey.
I mean, I did play ice. I played some professional ice as well. I went back and forth. But I was originally born in California. So I grew up in Southern California until I was 16. At 16, I moved to Canada, and then it was all ice. Ice, not 24/7. So my heart, everything came back to playing on the beach, just, no helmets, gloves, and sticks. And it always came back to inline hockey. For me and my generation, I'm 40 next year, it was much more of a free, creative game. The NHL and ice hockey, when I played, we still had the red line. It was all hitting and fighting. There was less creativity. And even at the high levels, we had to always dump the puck in one corner and then go hit it, and hit the guy to get it back. So I lost a little passion with ice hockey. I probably wasn't disciplined enough because there's just so many more people that play, and you have to be in absolute shape. You're like robots. Yeah. Where inline hockey, it's very creative. I find that coaches don't dictate too much the breakout, what you have to do. It's kind of like, just get out there, have fun, move the puck, and try to score. And I really like the creativity of inline hockey versus ice hockey. You'll notice ice hockey in the recent years, they've changed. Yeah. Their sport has changed completely. It's a speed game, it's a skill game, and they've even gone to a 3-on-3 for overtime. That's because of inline hockey. So there is madness to what we're doing, and I just love the creativity of inline hockey. They're free flowing. I love that there's no whistles. The problem with ice hockey, you get momentum and then stop. It's face up. I find that it's very hard. It's constantly stopping, and you lose that momentum. Where inline, you just go, and you never know where the wind's going to take you. You never know what's going to happen. So for me, that's why I kind of stuck with inline, and I went and played all over the world professionally. And I found, regardless of the money, why not do something you absolutely love? And my passion, I just had a little bit more passion for inline hockey, and I had to follow my heart. And I've had I'd say a wonderful 30 years of playing the sport, and now I'm fortunate enough to play Masters for Canada, and I've told my wife we're going to play another 30 years, so it's exciting, and it's amazing. I don't know that in ice hockey we have leagues, world championships for 15 plus, 45 plus. I've never heard of them. In inline hockey, our sport, we have world championships. Dads, moms, that they can represent their country at an old age. It's pretty special. And then the last thing about inline is, it's a sport where you can play with your family. You yourself got to play in tournaments with your son. We don't get that in ice hockey because of the physicality. You can't have a minor playing with an adult. We're inline, there's no full contact. So those are the reasons it's much more of a family sport. And I think inline hockey is something that I'm surprised it's not more popular around the world, because it's cost effective. We are still hoping for the Olympics. Yeah. Maybe one day, who knows? But the world champs just had 76 teams playing in Italy. We've got 36 countries playing our sport. So we're really off to a good start. And that's good. You guys are a big part of that history.
Thank you. Which is the biggest achievement of Dave Hammond?
Obviously individually, top of my head, there's obviously the world championships as a player.
How many times?
I think I'm a 4 or 5-time world champion. A couple as player, a couple as coach. I've won them as a coach for females and men, so multiple aspects. But for me, I think my biggest achievement, if I'm really looking down, it would be probably partnering with Pablo Navarre and PGK. We've been able to bring this sport around the world. I've been able to visit places like Mexico, El Salvador, Ecuador, Switzerland, I think 30 different countries, and bring my joy and my passion to them. And to me, I think that's a bigger accomplishment than winning an individual award or a medal. Is we're uniting a world. And most of our work was done during COVID, when the world was in a really bad place, and we've gone to places and talked to people, and sometimes people just need someone to believe in them. They just need a buddy to hang out with and do something. So I'm very proud of what we've accomplished and what we're doing. We're launching our first ever tournament next year in Spain, the PGK Cup. I've done 6 years running the Afro Cup, bringing people all over the world to Namibia. And for me, that's what it's really about, and giving people an opportunity to play. I'm lucky. I was born with an American passport and a Canadian passport, so automatically the world assumes I can play hockey. If you're born with a Mexican passport, Brazil, Ecuador, you don't have that same type of luck. And that was one of the big focuses behind PGK, is we want to give everyone the opportunity in life to succeed. And it shouldn't matter where you're from. Because, your facility's here. This is much better than a lot of facilities in Canada, America, some of the places you would assume that would have things. And it's just sometimes we're so ignorant in the world, we don't realize what else is out there. So for me, that's my greatest accomplishment, is kind of bringing the world together and sharing our passion with everyone.
So you now are living, and you're married, and have 4 kids in Namibia, right?
Yeah, I've been 12 years there.
How did you get to Namibia?
So I had a teammate I met on Team Canada, playing inline hockey, Phil Boudreau, a much older gentleman than myself, and he lived there for 4 years. Every day he used to play golf, surf, and then coach inline hockey. So he used to show us all these videos, and we'd be at a world champs, and come on, this is your job. And, so I was at university, and I just finished playing ice hockey. I quit the ice hockey, the university team. I was kind of done. Told my dad, I think I'm done with ice. I was playing professional inline back and forth, but I was kind of, I needed like a job and do something. And then they approached me, hey, do you want to move to Swakopmund, Namibia and coach inline hockey? It was a real job, 40 hours a week. I love to travel, so I took the opportunity. I dropped out of university, phoned my dad. I said, Dad, I'm moving. I'm going to try this. So I went there. I had such a good time my first year. I decided to stay a second year. In my second year, I met my wife. It was my girlfriend at the time. And then I still wanted to go back and play professionally. I'd been in the workforce for a bit, and I realized I had some skill and some talent, and a lot of teams were phoning. So I said, look, I need to go back to Europe. I went back over there to, get some trophies and put some stuff on my mantle. And then, just hockey kind of always became part of life. And I've been there 12 years. We have an amazing life. It's safe. Our kids are all trilingual. And believe it or not, I almost play more inline hockey in Africa than I ever did in California or Canada. So
that's great.
You just never know. Sometimes you just got to trust faith and just take a chance in life. You never know where you're going to end up.
Okay, that's very nice. What's next for Africa Cup?
Next for Africa Cup, we are looking at maybe 2 tournaments a year, but with Namibia having such good results, they're now 4th in the world for senior men. We need to constantly continue to bring international talent overseas. So for me, it's trying to find the right date that allows guys like yourself to bring your club members over, make it affordable, and it's really about sport tourism. It can't just be about hockey. So for Africa Cup, it's really about friendships. We encourage at the younger age, the high school kids, that they get pen pals, they meet up, they even do sleepovers with the local kids where they're away from mom and dad, and they just experience a new culture. It's not just about the time zone difference, but it's the landscape, the animals, the food. Everything is so unique, so bizarre, and we want to share that experience with everyone. I'm not necessarily a big nature guy or an animal lover, but it's absolutely breathtaking to see an elephant or touch a rhino or to see it not in a zoo. To see it in their own element is something so special. And we kind of just want to share that with the world and give everyone the opportunity to see different people and travel. Every city has its own hidden gems. And if you don't travel and explore them, you're going to learn. You're only going to be stuck in your little bubble. And I think that's what COVID taught us. It put everyone back to square one. Doesn't matter what degree, how much money you have, everyone was flattened back to equal. And for me, traveling is the greatest experience you can give your children. Much better than buying them a PlayStation or a fancy phone or a toy. Take them on a trip, and if they can do something they love while playing a sport, to me, that's the ultimate holiday vacation.
Yeah, that's great. And what do you think is next for the world hockey, for world inline hockey? Next step?
Look, it's tough. I'm on the board at the moment, so I've done 5 years as one of the chairmen on World Skate. We do our best. We listen to the countries, the federations, the players. It's hard. You've got 36 different countries, all with their own recipe. What's the best? What location? When to go? It comes down to money. It comes down to timing. For me, I don't know. I think our sport is wonderful. I'd like to make a couple tweaks. The one being I'd like to get more goals. I'd like to go back to bigger nets. I'd like to standardize our rink size. We talk about these things, but at the same time, not everyone has the same resource and luxury. So sometimes you can't play on tiles or you can't have glass, and you just want people to play the sport. So for us, it's finding common ground, and I think just putting together a 5-year plan that everyone can agree on. And we need to make a couple of changes and try. And if the governing body in the world can adapt and let us try for 5 years. If it doesn't work, we reset. Look at ice hockey. They took away the red line. They added 3-on-3. They've changed their sport. Some things are good, some things are bad, but they tried. And I think our sport needs to try to make a couple changes to take that next step and maybe make it more enjoyable. For the first time ever in the history of the sport, at World Games, the top 8 in the world, we have representation from South America, Africa, Asia, Europe, and North America. It's never been done before. It's always been a European and US-Canada sport, and now South America, Africa, and Asia are in the top 8 in the world for men. It's truly amazing to see this and to see the next generation take over. So we're very excited for it.
And finally, what's next for Dave?
For me, well, tomorrow I fly to Spain. We're going to go run some ice hockey camps and Russo's coming with. We're going to play in an ice hockey tournament, and it's new opportunities, new people to meet, and we're inline hockey players, and we're going to play ice, and yes, we won't be as good, but I think our skill and our mindset will be great. Looking forward to that opportunity, and then I go home, I set my hockey rink up along the beach, and we just want to share the sport of skating with us. We travel, and people come all over, and it's just being outside and sharing memories. And then for us, it's PGK Cup and summer winter NARCH. Okay. So we're busy, a lot of things coming, but those are my 4 big projects coming up. And we'll see. I know there's already talks and plans. Myself, Pablo, Swaggy, and the other guys will be back possibly end of this year, if not next year. So I'm looking forward to that. And I want to wish you guys well for NARCH. You guys are in the history books. First time ever NARCH has come out of USA or Canada. So this is massive. And you guys have sold out. So it should be a wonderful, wonderful event, and I think this will be the tipping point for you guys. This will be something that's so big, and people couldn't even imagine, 15 years of this happening. NARCH in Mexico, no one could have ever thought of it, and now you're going to have it, and it's going to be here in less than a month.
Yeah.
And I wish you guys all the best and good luck.
Thanks
and
so much.
I think this will be the tipping point for you guys in the right direction.
Thank you so much, Dave.
My pleasure.
It was a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for sharing with us and with our kids and with our clubs your knowledge, your passion, your love for hockey. Thank you so much.
No, it was an honor. You guys are part of the family now. You guys are officially PGK. So forever, we're with you.
This is your home. You can come back whenever you want.
We'll be here. I hope to bring the family next time because I think the girls would love it. My wife can use a holiday as well. So it's just planning the schedules. If we can line the schedules up with school, anything's possible.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dave. Esto es todo por nuestra parte, amigos. Es nuestro segundo episodio de nuestro podcast. Esperamos les guste y nos vemos en la próxima. Hasta luego. Gracias.